Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. The world is watching the Middle East very closely right now, and a major question on everyone's mind is what happens next between the United States and Iran. Following recent escalations, the possibility of direct or indirect conflict has become a serious topic of discussion. Today, we're going to take a sober, analytical look at the strategic options Iran might have if it were to target U.S. military forces in the region. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about understanding the military and strategic landscape of a complex part of the world. So, let's break it down. First, let's understand Iran's military philosophy. For decades, Iran has pursued a strategy of asymmetric warfare. Knowing it can't match the U.S. in a conventional head-to-head fight with aircraft carriers and stealth bombers, it is focused on developing capabilities that exploit potential American vulnerabilities. This means relying on a mix of missile technology, naval swarm tactics, and a network of proxy forces across the Middle East. It's a strategy designed to make any conflict incredibly costly and difficult for a superior military power. The most direct and widely discussed threat from Iran is its extensive arsenal of ballistic and cruise missiles. Iran has invested heavily in developing a diverse range of missiles with varying ranges. Short-range missiles could easily target U.S. bases and facilities in neighboring countries like Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE, and Bahrain. In fact, many critical U.S. military installations, such as Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, which is a central command hub, are well within the striking distance of Iranian missiles. A coordinated missile barrage would aim to overwhelm a base's air defense systems like the Patriot missile batteries, even if many incoming missiles are intercepted. Just a few getting through could cause significant damage to runways, aircraft, and infrastructure, disrupting U.S. operations. Beyond ballistic missiles, Iran has also developed sophisticated cruise missiles. These are harder to detect because they fly at low altitudes, hugging the terrain to evade radar. We saw the potential effectiveness of this technology in the 2019 attack on Saudi Aramco's oil facilities, which temporarily crippled Saudi oil production. A similar attack on a U.S. military port or logistics hub could be devastating. Imagine a swarm of low-flying crews, missiles, and drones, all converging on a single target from multiple directions. It's a complex threat that modern air defenses are constantly working to counter. Now, let's move to the maritime domain, specifically the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is a critical choke point for global oil supplies, with about a fifth of the world's oil passing through it daily. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, or IRGC, is perfectly structured for conflict in this constrained environment. They don't have large destroyers like the U.S. Navy. Instead, they rely on hundreds of small, fast attack craft. These boats are armed with machine guns, rockets, and anti-ship missiles. Their strategy would be to use swarm tactics, overwhelming a large U.S. warship with a high-speed, multi-pronged attack, while a U.S. destroyer has immensely superior firepower. Defending against dozens of small, agile targets simultaneously is a massive challenge. In addition to swarm boats, Iran has a fleet of small submarines, sea mines, and shore-based anti-ship missiles. They could attempt to mine the Strait of Hormuz, effectively closing it to all traffic. This would not only be a direct threat to U.S. naval vessels, but would also send shockwaves through the global economy by disrupting oil shipments. The U.S. has specialized minesweeping capabilities, but clearing a heavily mined strait under the threat of attack from the shore and sea would be an incredibly dangerous and time-consuming operation. Perhaps the most likely and most frequently used tool in Iran's playbook is its network of proxy forces. Over the years, Iran has cultivated relationships with and provided support to various non-state groups across the region. These include Hezbollah in Lebanon, various militias in Iraq and Syria, and the Houthis in Yemen. This strategy of plausible deniability allows Iran to exert influence and carry out attacks without its own forces being directly involved. We've already seen this in action. Militias in Iraq have frequently launched rocket and drone attacks on thus bases, These attacks are often calibrated to be just below the threshold that would provoke a massive TUS response. They serve as a constant source of pressure and attrition, tying down U.S. forces and demonstrating Iran's reach. Using these proxies, Iran could orchestrate a region-wide campaign of harassment. Imagine coordinated attacks on U.S. embassies, patrols, and logistical convoys in multiple countries at once. This would stretch U.S. intelligence and security resources thin and create a chaotic, unpredictable environment. For the U.S., responding to these proxy attacks is complicated. Striking the proxies directly might not deter Iran, while striking Iran directly could lead to a major escalation that both sides may want to avoid. It's a strategic dilemma that Iran has expertly exploited. Another area to consider is cyber warfare. Iran has steadily been building its cyber capabilities. While not considered to be at the same level as Russia or China, Iranian cyber actors have proven they can be disruptive. They could target military command and control systems, logistics networks, or even the civilian infrastructure that supports U.S. bases, like power grids or water supplies. A successful cyber attack could create confusion, slow down military operations, and cause damage without firing a single shot. This is a shadowy battlefield where attribution can be difficult, fitting perfectly into Iran's asymmetric strategy. So, what does this all mean for U.S. forces? It means they operate in a state of constant vigilance. U.S. bases in the region are hardened, meaning they have robust air defenses, reinforced structures, and well-drilled emergency procedures. The U.S. military also invests heavily in intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance or ISR to monitor Iranian activities and try to anticipate attacks before they happen. This includes satellite imagery, signals intelligence, and drone surveillance. Furthermore, the presence of U.S. carrier strike groups in the region serves as a powerful deterrent, signaling to Iran the overwhelming force that could be brought to bear in a full-scale conflict. In conclusion, any potential conflict with Iran would not be a simple, conventional war. Iran's strategy is to avoid a direct fight and instead use a multi-pronged approach involving missiles, naval swarms, proxy militias, and cyber attacks. They would aim to make the conflict as costly and prolonged as possible, hoping to erode American political will. The U.S. military is well aware of these threats and has spent years developing countermeasures and strategies. To mitigate them, the situation remains a high-stakes chess match, where every move is carefully calculated to achieve strategic objectives while avoiding an all-out war. Understanding these dynamics is key to making sense of the headlines and the complex security situation in the Middle East today. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is a really complex topic, and we've only scratched the surface. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.